What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gamer Podcast. I am Antonius, the Gamer. Tim is not available today. He's on a workcation currently, but I am joined by my other co-host, Super SSS Rank. We are here back for episode 13 of the podcast. Even while Tim enjoys our vacation, we keep working. That's what we discuss pre-show. We keep working and keep working and
Okay.
continue
Yes,
to
indeed.
bring content and value and entertainment to all y'all listeners and potential subscribers out there. So we're back with episode 13, Jory, and we just go ahead and get right into it like we usually do. Microsoft finally dropped their Magnum acquired opus for quarter four of gaming. Starfield is
hmm
now on us. You can buy it digitally, you can buy it physically. The reviews are out. The embargo was lifted, and with the reviews coming in, the gameplay comments coming in, the streamers talking, the critics talking, the stands talking. How do you feel about the way Bethesda handled the release of Starfield?
Um, I think it's fine. I think they accomplished and they accomplished what they set out to accomplish with the release of Starfield. I'm not mad at it. They gave you early access. It comes out actually on the 6th, I believe, of September.
Mm-hmm.
Of September. Um, yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it's cool. Whoever wanted to get early access gets early access, and the reviews. Surprisingly, I was expecting it to be divisive. I didn't think
They
everybody was
they
going to be
were a
on
little
board.
bit. They were
Yeah,
a little bit. They
yeah,
weren't. They
yeah.
weren't. They weren't singing their praises. There wasn't like it wasn't Redfall reviews. There was a bit
Yeah,
of a
yeah,
division there. Some kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
I know GameSpot got highlighted for their 7 out of 10.
hmm
There was a couple of claims of but as a kind of overselling certain aspects of Starfield and how it
hmm
takes hours of the game for it to kind of get interesting. It wasn't all
Yeah,
like Bethesda has done it, they've outdone themselves, type of
yeah.
praises.
And you know what I think? The reason why I think it's being received the way it is because we like spectacle, and I think Todd probably wanted to approach his game differently. He wanted to do a slow, worthwhile burn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm okay with changing up the pace from now and from time to time. So I expect the way Starfield felt gave me roam around and discover. It's a discovery. So let stuff take time to actually happen. And I think that's worthwhile because now you're like, okay, you find out why you're playing the game, and it's just enough time for you to actually like, yo, why am I playing this? What's the so now you're I feel like the need to explore further gets activated.
Mm.
If I'm making any sense with that
Mm-hmm.
slow, okay, it's not in your face. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, but from what I'm seeing, I like the functionality.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff you can do in the game. So it's like, I'm trying to understand what angle people are coming from. And to be honest with you, they tell you, listen, you're not going to start enjoying the game until you beat it. That's when the real game. That's how they
I
design their
did. I
games to
I
be.
saw that too. I saw that too. Like New
And the
Game Plus is
fact
where it really gets cooking.
and the fact that people who are new game plus in it are saying, you know what, yo, this game is amazing. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Ballandino, he was
Mm-hmm.
saying, before you buy, he came out and he regrets what he says. He said, "Is it Skyrim?" No, but he says, "I like the game. I like it a lot."
Mm-hmm.
That says something. And IGN's reviews, even within themselves, IGN America gave it a 7, but IGN elsewhere around the world, they gave it praises, tens and nines.
Mm-hmm.
So eights, tens, and nines, if I'm correct. Metacritic, it's right now it's an 87.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually pretty good. Um,
It is.
it's very good. And then with the bugs, it's a Bethesda game, man. As long as it doesn't break the game, I'm aware of it. For me, I was like, I couldn't play Fallout because of that, but that's what makes Fallout. That's what makes Fallout fall out. You know what I'm saying? You got people falling
If
through the
an NPC
stages and
doesn't flow
whatnot.
into the sky randomly, is it really Bethesda? Like.
Yeah, yeah. But I really think I think if I can guess what they're trying to achieve with Starfield, It'll be a slow burn, but like, because the thing is, if they want to create something that's going to be impactful, it has to be a still quietness before boom, yo, this is amazing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what they're aiming for because now the market storylines are so saturated with boom in your face, and now you're gonna keep expecting that throughout the whole entire game. But I
Mm-hmm.
think he wants the game to organically become its own, to where that actually naturally happens. And when it
Right.
happens for you, it's like more meaningful because it's not scripted. And that's pretty much why people are like a lot of these Dark Souls games. There are a lot of scripted, non-scripted things that take place. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of things that they don't tell you about. They don't even allude to. One guy will probably tell you, "Hey, if you go over there and you go pull that tree, something interesting happens." But he doesn't tell you exactly what happens.
Right.
Then you get the tree, you get the leaf, the twig does nothing. Then you click it again, the twig does nothing. Then one day you go back and you see somebody standing in the, hey, did you get a twig here? I said, yes, prepare to die. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting stuff
Mm-hmm.
happens. So I think with
It
Starfield,
it contributes to a unique gaming experience.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Starfield's entire advertisement campaign says that. It's not, the
Mm-hmm.
campaign doesn't give you rock music. It doesn't give you a very out in your face soundtrack. It's more like a, you kind of hear the
Yeah.
stars. It's like, let's explore, let's wonder, let's see
Yeah.
what's
It's
out
it's
there.
not
Let's,
it's not Space Mad Max.
yeah, it's not Space Mad Max, and that's what people are expecting.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's what people are expecting. I do think they should have had alien. I do think it would have been more interesting if they had humanoid aliens or aliens that you can interact with and
Yeah.
talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, that's always my cup of tea. I was expecting this to be more on the Mass Effect tip, as far as exploration, but like now it's Mass Effect, Starfield, all in one. You know, Mass Effect, Skyrim, all in one. That's what I was expecting it to be, but I'm okay with the reviews that it's getting. I knew it wasn't going to be a bad game. I knew it was going to be a very divisive game. There's going to be people that absolutely love it,
Mm-hmm.
and people that absolutely probably might feel, as long as they don't hate it, they feel neutral about it. I think they achieved their goal because nobody can say it's a bad game.
Right. Right.
Right? You say, if you can't say it's a bad game, it leaves the game. It leaves the opinion to the people to assume that, okay, maybe it's not my cup of tea. And
Mm-hmm.
then for other people, oh man, this is exactly my cup of tea. This is what I've been hoping for, and just a breath of fresh air and whatnot. So that's how I
Yeah.
feel about it. I'm not really worried, man, or upset. I expected it to get what it got, even how I felt about it. You know, Bethesda games aren't my cup of tea, but like the third person looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The shooting mechanics will
The shooting
improve over
mechanics
time.
look really solid. Honestly,
Yeah.
the customization you could get with weapons, the variety and weapon design. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you could do with the game is you get the ships. You can customize your ship to however you want. And in space battles, I think you have to kind of like manage where your power goes. If you want to put power into shields, or put power into thrusters, you have to manage that in a way, but it's not overbearing. It's actually fair, and that's some of the comments people were leaving on Starfield, or versus your bugs and you being locked out of a quest. But it's not really. There's so much to do to where you don't really have to worry about the quest in
Yeah.
itself, and a lot of the characters, they grow on you over time. So I think it's one of those games where like over time you have to just it'll actually start to pick up momentum. Because once
Yeah.
people start playing the game, it'll be like, yo, it felt like that for me with Breath of the Wild. It felt like that for me with Monster Hunter. I bought Monster Hunter. I'm playing the game. I say, yo, this is not what I expected it to be. But when I understood the game and the mechanics of it, that became one of my favorite games of all time.
Mm.
Um, and it's up there. Like when I play Monster Hunter, I feel like a kid again.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
so
that
I
type
think,
of like I'm having an
yeah,
experience.
I'm having
Okay.
I'm having a great time. For me, and I
Mm-hmm.
like animals. I'm an artist. I like to see how would a crossbreed between a wolf and a dragon look, and it doesn't look cheesy. It doesn't look it doesn't look cheesy. It doesn't look unnatural. It looks it's like the most natural creative thing I've ever seen in my life, man. And the
Hmm.
way they use zoology to kind of like mend the two creatures together and give it its own ecosystem. I think Starfield's gonna do that for a lot of people that are into the space opera genre, into space travel, into space games, space themed games. Period. So yeah, man, I think it's a good start, and I'm pretty sure they have more stuff up their sleeve as
I
far
think
as
so too.
with this game, because Todd Howard seemed to be very it's like he's very happy with releasing this new IP. There's energy behind it. Maybe a lot of people aren't on board yet, but they know what product they have, and I think when a
Yeah.
company knows what product they have, I think that's the best thing.
Okay. I'll
Yeah,
give some of my thoughts. If I'm Phil Spencer, if I'm Microsoft, if I'm Todd Howard, if I'm Bethesda, and I'm seeing these early access reviews and feedback, I'm popping champagne and I'm pouring it all over the office and I'm going crazy like we just won the chip. Because to your point, nothing. I don't think there was any like scathing would not recommend review that I've seen. I think when we talked about it last podcast, my biggest concern was it going to deliver on what it promised and how bad were the bugs. And of course there were bugs, but like you said, there's no game deleting bugs. Yes, there's a quest or two that may not be playable out the gate, but for a game that people are reporting is taking 40 to 60 hours to completely beat, I'm not tripping about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not tripping about a game that's going to take, yeah, you're going to have this like really unnatural bug here, or, even though we'll complain of like, oh, it takes a few hours to get going. It's a 40-hour game. The first 3 hours is slow build up, cry me a river. That means you have, 37 more hours of amazing gameplay to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? Like there really wasn't anything that I've seen in the initial reviews and initial, gameplay outside of like, like nitpicking of like, oh, I can't look at this pop in here or whatever the case may be. Or I'm like, bro, this is
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a bad game. It's not a bad.
No,
There's nothing about this game that like looks trash. Like it doesn't look like they under delivered. It doesn't look half cooked. I mean, there was some legitimate complaints from what I've seen about some of the repetition in the missions. Fair enough, right? I think that's been a critique across the board for most games. Final Fantasy 16 got repetition missions out the behind, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a thing that most big games struggle with. It's like it's hard to make a very unique side quest unless you're Baldur's Gate, apparently. But everything else, like everything else is just like, bro, like what about this? Like, there's nothing that I've seen or heard that doesn't look like a win for all parties involved. Xbox, exclusives finally have another game that they could beat their chest with. Like, yeah, we got one. You know what I'm saying? We got our big fall game delivered on all fronts. They're gonna patch out most of the bugs. You can already see the potential for the expansion pack or the DLC, or to your point, maybe an alien invasion on some of these planets. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that could be done, and I think that looking at just the blueprint of what we've seen with Starfield so far, I'm like, this is a game that they intend on sinking 2, 3, maybe even 4 years of support into, and it's going to be truly, amazing. Yeah, it's no Man's Sky. Yeah, it's no Skyrim, but I think that's okay. I think for this current generation, which you, me, and Tim have talked about multiple times, of we've had a real hard time of having a real top tier current gen experience on a PS5 and Xbox Series X console cycle. I think that this qualifies in that range of like, no, you guys got an amazing game. It's something to that. I don't see, other than for the sake of discourse, why the discourse is there. Like, what's the issue? What about this
yeah,
game
yeah,
is like, oh, I don't understand why it's getting so much praise. Like, no, it seems cool. It seems just fine. A
yeah,
little over ambitious in some ways. Him promising 1,000 planets. I'm like, come on now. We know 90% of those planets are about to be just running in empty space, but they're there.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, but they are there.
yeah,
So it's like, bro, like again, I'm popping champagne. I'm biting the gold coin. You know what I'm saying? You get a gold medal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the office
Yeah,
going
man.
crazy.
And then for me, I think Starfield has the perfect canvas to like interject a Star Trek storyline, to interject any space type of
Easily.
storyline. So it's like, yo,
Because the
if
blueprint's
they
there.
decide, yeah, if they decide to, yo, I want to make a Terminator in space uh theme slash Mass Effect mission that I really love specifically, or even pulling from like Star Trek, they could do that. They could well enough do that. Or if they wanted to do something like a Chronicles of Riddick storyline, like they could do it. You
Yeah.
know, they have the canvas for it. So
Right. All the building
and then
blocks are
some of
already
the
there.
and then some of the suits I was seeing in Starfield, I was like, this suit is amazing. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
armor that you get, the suits that you get, I was like, nah, this is fire. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'd play a game just to look like that, and I can see my body. You can add to your jetpack, so the RPG experience is there, and like you're not gonna beat the Elder Scrolls Oblivion guys in the game, man. That's their field,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Nor should you
we should
aspire to.
be, yeah, right. You should be,
Nor should you aspire to. Yeah.
you should be happy that they're not going after graphics. You know, if they were going after
Yeah.
graphics, no, we're gonna make this the Grand Theft Auto of medieval games, yo. Then I'm like, yo, you a company? Good luck, man. It's over for y'all boys, man. Todd Howard said he want to break bread now. Oh man, yo, you praise, be happy, companies, that these guys don't decide to be like, you know what? I'm tired of people saying we don't have the best graphics. You know, I want to have the best graphics, and yo,
Yeah.
so you just be.
And even with that, the complaints I was seeing about the animation reactions, I'm like, bro, again, this is a 60-hour expansive game. I'm sorry that you're not getting lifelike reactions from every NPC you encounter.
You can make your ship, make your character, choose how the story plays out, and fight in space.
Take the L somewhere, right? Take a loss somewhere. You can't get everything.
Oh, wow, there's loading screens. There's loading screens. There's loading screens for Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And who says how, who knows what Elder Scrolls Installment 1 is not Skyrim Installment 2? You know what I'm saying?
It's
So it turned to a completely different game. And so, like, and now, I'm pretty sure they're happy with the feedback. You guys are giving them ideas, and I'm pretty sure Starfield's gonna come with the gun swinging.
yeah.
Not come with the gun swinging, but come with the guns out, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I think it's gonna be dope, man. I think it's dope.
Yeah, I agree, and we can move on. I just wanted to, because again, we kind of ended the pod a little bit talking about it, last part talking about it, and I just feel like, of course, it's like, there's that little like this evil smirk, like I'm ready to hate if it's bad, but
Yeah,
I didn't see anything to dislike. I'm like, this just
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks fine, it looks fine. I
Yeah,
think if somebody
man.
never bought the DLC, they'd still enjoyed the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's a complete experience for your money.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's Starfield, and of course, I'm sure there'll be more things to play out. Um, Speaking of more things playing out, I don't know if you got a chance to see it. I haven't watched it in full yet, but they announced CD Projekt Red announced that they're kind of redoing Cyberpunk from the inside out with its newest DLC. Did you see that at all?
I did.
What does it look like the game that you thought you were going to get 2 years ago at this point, or it
Um,
still remains to be seen?
it remains to be seen. I gotta say,
Okay.
because right now I'm playing Cyberpunk right now, and there's still that bad taste in my mouth of
Mm.
as far as what I was seeing. You gotta understand, the build up for this game was crazy. The hype.
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes,
the
I
build
do.
up for this game was crazy, man. Like,
Keanu Reeves is
they
on the
had
cover. I have a pretty
Keanu Reeves
good
is on the
idea
cover.
of.
They had Keanu Reeves coming out on stage. They say, "Yo, man, you get the most in-depth character customization." Then you start to see them regress the words. Yeah, listen, you only see your character in the mirror. Then there was rumors where it's gonna be first person and third person. I said, yo, I don't have to play the game as a first person. There's nothing I hate more when you give me full character customization and I can only see my feet.
Mm-hmm.
I only see myself in combat, only through the replay. No, don't give me that, man.
Right.
What's the point? What's the point of making my Halo Spartan paying all this money, these microtransactions, dog,
Right.
and I can only
These
see my
patches.
feet, and it
My enemy skulls
only
on a
my
necklace, and
only my enemy, yeah, only my enemies can see me when I'm playing. Yeah, but I understand that's Halo. I'm cool with that, right? That's a stretch, but as far as games like role playing games, RPGs, action RPGs that they're telling me, and I can't see my body, that's a problem, man. And then you give me my favorite genre, the cyberpunk genre, technology, arms, robotics. That's my favorite, one of my favorite genres in movies, science fiction, games. That's why I'm attached to Metal Gear Solid the way I am, because they have those elements. You know, Metal Gear Solid Rising, chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? So like, why do that to me? Why let me see my character? There's nothing I hate more. So with Cyberpunk, I feel like I have to see how much of a difference it is compared to the original before I can even say anything. Because other than that,
Okay.
man,
Fair enough.
it's still gonna be what it is. And you get Idris Elba's, you know.
I mean, Idris Elba could stage a comeback for the series.
You know, he could,
He's a
but now
charismatic actor.
the storyline's got to be something, man. And I'm not mad at it, you know. I'm not mad at it at all, man. It's just the storyline's got to come with some heat, man. From for what they promised you in Cyberpunk, man, it's just like, you want to play Blade Runner? We got you covered. You want to play Blade Runner and RoboCop? Remember that Deus Ex game? Yeah, Human Revolution. The revolution is over. We got that covered. Okay, we got you. And the game came out, and it wasn't bad at all.
It was Meme City.
Oh man, man, and you know my heart goes out to these developers, but you know if you're an investor and you want to invest in the company, I would say don't buy the $1 million home yet. Try not to live above your means. Because in a way you're giving yourself the grace to live paycheck to paycheck. And because of that, your business suffers, and you're blaming the artist because you don't understand art yourself. You only understand money, video games, but you don't understand the relationships, which is something that you do on the regular. You build relationships, understand, communicate. I would believe that you got there because of your social skills. So understand this universe and realm of gaming. You don't play games yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand that language. So the bottom line is, let the artists be. Let the creatives create. Ask questions, of course. Because your money's there, I was gonna say, you don't understand the realm. No, of course, it's your money. You have to ask questions. You have to make sure the product that you're making comes through. But if the senior director tells you, hey, look, we need more time, I would say hold off on buying the $2 million car. Hold off on buying the $2 million car. Because the comeback is better than the setback.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. You know, you think about the way that CD Projekt Red was able to influence. I mean, you could literally give them credit for getting the Witcher series greenlit on Netflix, low key. Like that's how influential they have handled the Witcher series and franchise and games. So, you know, it's one of those things where like you use the metaphor of like having the gun at the ready with them, where it's like, I see the potential, you know, for things to get good, and I hope that it does get good, and you guys have shown the capability to be great, you know, but you know, it's still at the ready because wow, that launch was
Man, listen, I was heartbroken, man. Like you, Sony had to reimburse people because they made the purchase. That's
And said, do
unheard of.
not bring your game back to the PSN store until it's ready. They couldn't even upload it to the PSN store until it was in a playable state.
Yeah, man.
I've
So
same
it's
thing. I've
like
never heard of that before.
you
I
had
say
people
you.
buying the console. Yeah, man. I'm like, dude, man, I bought the Cyberpunk console, and then your game is trash. Diminishes all the hype, all the you had all these things. And I'm sounding redundant, but like when I think about it, man, like you had this amazing, amazing tech demo trailer. I'm not tech demo, but the trailer, the gameplay reveal. Said, yo, in Night City, you make the rules. I'm like, I'm getting a little bit of Cyberpunk. I'm getting a little bit of Blade Runner. I'm getting a little bit of all my favorite Minority Report. Who knows what they're gonna do with these ideas in this theme? None of that. And it's so crazy that the anime spinoff set a better world for Cyberpunk, bringing people back to
Right.
the
From the
Cyberpunk
brink.
game, and it helped them
Yeah.
get more sales. So with Phantom Liberty, man, I'm hoping that it's amazing. I'm hoping it's magical. I'm hoping it's what it can save save the game. So from what I can see, it's not going to give me everything I want because they didn't reveal that in the trailer. They didn't reveal like a more robust character customization.
Nor is it possible. I think that's something that for as much righteous fury as gamers can have at this moment. I think it's also like, I don't know if you guys remember how DLC works. DLC does not completely change a game. This is not something where a game becomes something completely different in one DLC patch. That's not how this
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah. So you know, I'll take it. I'll see what happens. I'll wait for the I'll wait for the reviews. If that review, man, is not received well, man, boy, boy, The Witcher 4, The Witcher 4 gotta be Shadow of Mordor system
Mixed
fused
with
with
God of
Skyrim
War.
choice, mixed with God of War's action. If that
Yeah.
action is what it was, you see these games coming out. You see the Dragon's Dogma.
Hmm.
These people don't got time for your EverQuest fighting style, man. I don't care. I never cared about the EverQuest fighting style. No,
Right.
no, no. I want craziness. You know what I'm saying? I want my game to play like I'm playing as Legolas only.
Hmm.
If it's not that, man, go away, get away from me,
Right.
man.
It needs to be a highlight reel at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah. I don't got time for what's the original movie? Jason and the Acolytes.
Oh.
Claymation fighting
All
style
right,
where he
finding the
fighting the
cardboard
clay
cutouts. Yeah.
yeah, the cardboard cutouts and the clay gargoyles. Nah, come on, man. Yeah, you miss me with that. Go somewhere with that, man. I ain't playing that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's garbage bin, man. Yeah, man.
All right. Yeah, I just, I saw it earlier today. I was like, I'll mention it in passing because we haven't spoken about Cyberpunk, and it's coming. It's not too far off from dropping, so figured it was worth mentioning. But in other news worth mentioning, actually, I'll save this one later, down the road. Let's get into the PlayStation Plus price increase. Now, as I shared in the group chat earlier this week, Sony. They are increasing the price of their PlayStation Plus subscription. This is coming off the back of
2 L's in 1 week.
no 3 L's in like a month. Because
Oh
as
yeah?
I was thinking about this, when's the last time you heard somebody talk about the PSVR 2? Right, you forgot it dropped. So did I. So you got the PSVR 2, which, again, it's a beautiful piece of hardware. All the reviews I've seen give it great praises. They're talking about Oculus Who, you know what I'm saying, in terms of hardware. The games that they've announced and released so far of it are solid. I don't see a soul talking about the PSVR 2. So that's one. That's one L. That's L1. L2. Come on now. We talked about last pod. PlayStation Portal. DOA. You know what I'm saying? Dead on arrival. And then within the week of that, in the week of, Sony, and the thing that pains me as a Sony fan is like, I understand their angle of pushing PlayStation as a premium console, right? And I could get into the infrastructure if done well. Sony does make good headphones in general as a parent company. Sony does make solid hardware. But when you have these back-to-back fumbles, only for you to turn around and say, in order for us to provide you a better experience, we have to increase the price, and then increase the price to that, it's like, bro, I start looking at Game Pass like, why would I, you know what I'm saying? Gamefly still exists. Why would I, and not only that, like I was thinking about this earlier today before we talked about it on the pod. It's like, bro, think about it like this. Xbox, to y'all credit, y'all will allow an Xbox user to play their Xbox 360 games all the way up to Xbox Series X if you have the disc, right? You can stream it if you want to, but if you have the disc, you can pop in every Xbox game you've ever owned from that era and just play it, which is fantastic. Why can't I play my PS3 games on my PS5? It's a Blu-ray. The PS2, PS1, I understand it's a DVD. It uses a different format. It's a little bit trickier. Cool. I don't think it's excusable all the way, but I can understand that angle. But you telling me I have to get PlayStation Plus Extra in order to download and stream a game that still runs on a Blu-ray disc, and the PS5 is a Blu-ray reader, and now you're increasing the price. But get this, when Spider-Man 2 drops, I'm still going to have to pay for it. It's not like Game Pass Premium where I get to play it day one. I still have to buy the game after spending $135 for the year. And I don't know. I'm like, maybe this is, where Sony hits the Gucci store era, the Chanel era, that part of the mall where you can, take a right and buy a Tesla. Of like, maybe I'm too poor to be a Sony fan. Like, am I missing something here? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, Jory, because for me, I'm like, I just don't see it. It feels like, what it feels like? It feels like the disconnect when they announced the PS3 and they're like, yeah, so we're going to launch this 40 gig hard drive system for, it could be in your living room tomorrow for $600 at that time. Remember that era? The $600 PS3?
Man. Oh, man. That was crazy, dog.
When Sony was riding high off the inarguable success of the PS2 and their games and their era of games, and they're just like, PS3, we could do what we want. And, PS4 was them eating a little bit of humble pie and coming back to reality. It feels like, and it's not just a Sony thing. Again, every company in their own way does this, but it's like, you give them the opportunity to kind of get back to their old ways, and they will take it immediately.
Immediately, man. Like, dog, listen, man. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Like, the tidal wave, right now, the tremors are going to the crust of the earth. Or the crust that Sony's on. That fault, and the tremors are shaking because the tidal wave's coming. Oh, that price hike? Once somebody sees that their subscription's over, and for the price of everything that's going on, this is a luxury, my friend. Like, I understand you guys have to make money, but this is a 30% increase. Not by $10, right? No slow burn, but a hike.
Yeah.
A hike. You know what I'm saying? So now, all you guys who got the Sony subscription, mine is about to end pretty soon. How much is that renew bill gonna be now? You know what I'm saying? That renew bill was extra cheap, but now, and then what do you get it for the money that you're paying the $70 for? It's $80 or $70?
So for the Essentials plan, it's $80. For standard PlayStation Plus, it's $100, and then for PlayStation Plus Extra, it's $135.
$135. Yeah.
So and with PlayStation Plus Standard, you get additional discounts in the PSN store, and you get a free game that they pick every month.
Is it really a discount, or do you already paid for it?
No, it's really a discount. It's really a discount. Like, there's a couple games. I mean, granted, obviously, it depends on the game, but let's just say they're having a sale. I don't know, Mortal Kombat 11 with all the DLC, right, for $20.
Okay.
PSN Plus users might get it for 15. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that.
Okay. Nah, man, that thing's brutal, man. Like that thing, dog. Like, what do you? They're gonna roll back the prices, man.
You think so?
Nobody's gonna. Yeah.
Because it does beg the question, right? It's like, can there be such a thing as a luxury console experience? Is there? I mean, can the big three of Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, do any of them have the infrastructure of like, no, we provide a luxury gaming experience. This is not for your casual gamer. This is for the elite.
If that's what's going, if they're gonna do that, then they're not doing anything that makes me right now, because I'm looking at a PC. If I'm a Sony person, I'm like, I'm just going to PC.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get it on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And or like maybe because now I'm forced because I can't afford a Sony. I'm just gonna go with the Xbox
Mm.
and play it on Game Pass. And with the Xbox, I could play it anywhere. Phil Spencer talking about, I was playing a little bit of No Man's Sky on my AOG ROG, my Legion. Like, what do you? I'm playing Halo on my iPhone 16 with 16 gigs of RAM. That's gonna be perfect to play a video game. 16 gigs of RAM? Oh yeah, it's alright. I just got my controller and my AT&T 20G. Oh no, man, it's good. I'm good, man. I'm good. Life. What they charging me? How much for this premium console? Can it cook? Can it clean? Like, what are we talking about, man? Like, I don't think there's gonna. Man, ain't nobody buying no Gucci plates for the PlayStation 5, man.
It feels like a conflict in my heart because again, like I know Sony's flawed, but I support them obviously, and it's just like I don't think, at least, you can maybe make an argument for like kind of late into the PS4 cycle that they had kind of built a rapport for themselves at that point. They were dropping this first party banger after banger and things like that. But with the PS5 so far, I'm like, I'm not gonna spend that extra bread for the customizable controller. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the PSVR 2 mainly because it's too expensive. So it's like, it's these different things that they're rolling out where it's like, even if I wanted the PlayStation Portal, right? Even if I was like, let me go ahead and grab it, because when I'm, with the family or with my girl, whatever the case may be, and I want to be off in the corner playing P5, it's like, I'm not going to buy that for $200. I'm not buying that for $200.
They put these 5-year-old restrictions. Like when we were 5 years old and we saw the game that we wanted to get, no haps. Why? We don't got no job. There's no way for us to make that money to buy a Nintendo. I'm not getting the Game Boy Advance. How much it costs? You know what $200 looked like to me as a kid? You might as well told me a billion, $1 quintillion. Like, you might as well have told me that. It's over, bro. Like, now you put, man, gas. That's gas money, man. $70 for somebody's take up.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna have to find a new hobby, or I'm just gonna build me a PC.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna join the master race. I just see me, because what are these consoles giving me? I can't customize it, I can't upgrade it willy nilly, and if I were to, now they're gonna have to restructure how they sell consoles. Like, what edge are we gonna do that's gonna make an edge over a PC? So far Microsoft has put themselves in the best position. Now they will just have to have content for those said for that said pro. They would just have to have content for that platform, for the ecosystem. So with Sony, man, man, this is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because like you've literally ostracized yourself from your audience. You're paying $70 for games. It, ouch. Number one, ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the games that are $70 aren't worth $70 in my opinion. Final Fantasy 16, not a $70 game.
It pains me to say it, but you're right. Because
Final Fantasy.
why I know you're right is because I started thinking about like what was a Sony game that I thought might have been worth $70, and I immediately went to God of War. I completely forgot about Final Fantasy 16, and I own it. I beat it. I completely forgot it was a Sony exclusive. It didn't register in my brain as like, yo, that was an experience.
That game is dead. How long the people was talking about Final Fantasy 7? They was talking about that for weeks, months. 16 died. Dante came and gave it the stinger. Did a SSS stylish combo on them. That game ain't S rank, man. It's not S rank. I am heartbroken because the battle music, gets
Bro,
you
that
in tune with the
orchestra.
world. And then when the battle's done, and you realize it's just cardboard around. It's just cardboard boxes painted.
There's a mutated ostrich over in the corner, a mutated turtle back there, some
props,
some giant spiders
here.
behind you, some shrubbery.
It's like, yo, man,
Your elemental attacks mean nothing.
what were you thinking, man? What were you thinking? Like, it takes me how long to get a new weapon? If a game's gonna be that long, why am my power being so restricted? I should have power on top of power on top of power to lessen, because I'm mashing buttons all day long when you think about it. And then when I talk to people, it's the most uneventful conversation. And it don't help that Baldur's Gate just dropped, because people are gonna be like, and it don't help at all, because now you're like, well, we couldn't make the game we wanted to, so we made sure we made the game with only white people, because there's no black people in this reality of games.
In this fantasy world.
So it's like the press don't help. Like, and then now you got this Crimson Desert game coming out. Well, from what I'm seeing in the Gamescom trailer, that game look what? Everything you wanted to do in The Witcher, you can do in my game. That's what they telling me. And it's have yet to be seen, but man, like, yo, it's not helping, man. Because now I'm seeing homie galloping on a horse. He run to the edge of a cliff, then turn into an eagle. I'm like, yo, what? Homie's tombstoning someone with a shield on, then kicks a dude into one of those army post, I don't know what you call them, but they basically help you see a lookout stand. I'm gonna just call it that. Okay. And it topples on fire, falls on top of his opponent, and I'm just like, yo, this game is crazy, and it's from Japan, and it's like, oh no, it's a Korean game actually, and it's like, I'm like, look at what these guys are doing. This is supposed to be the European field, man. Yeah, and it just like, and it's, man, you guys are getting outdone.
It's weird. I mean, and I don't want us to detract too much, but you do bring a good point with Final Fantasy 16, because it's like going, I guess, actually just bring things full circle, right? Because you look at Final Fantasy 16. I don't know why I'm so tongue tied today. Final Fantasy 16, right? It kind of slid underneath the mark. And bro, like, as you're talking, I'm like, yo, we completely forgot, and probably, out of mercy, because, black female protagonist, but Forspoken was a PlayStation exclusive, and we saw what happened with that. I think we talked, me and Tim talked about it. I'm like, yo, I played the demo, and no. And then the game came out, and all the reviews were like,
Okay, so,
and the studio has been dissolved since.
Oh no, they're not playing no more. Like, these guys don't understand. Like, yo, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Now, we about to get the best games ever, because the fire is underneath the feet. We about to get the best, and I hate to say it like that, but we about to get the best games ever now.
Me too.
Me
too.
But You guys was y'all was tripping. You gotta understand. There's a level playing field with these type of ecosystems, right? What are you gonna give me for my time?
Mm-hmm. And
What are you
money.
giving me for my time and my money? My time is my money. Yeah, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like they go hand in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what are you giving me for my time and my money, man? Forspoken should have been like you could have easily had Forspoken move. If you were gonna do anything Final Fantasy, why can't I move like that in my
Mm-hmm.
game?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go the action route, Forspoken would have been perfect if she was a character in the same game.
Because one thing I will say that it for as bland as the story mode was in Forspoken, for as bland as the world was, that combat system was good. That magic system was
It was
great.
creative. It
It was
was like
very
so.
creative. Yeah.
Why can't my Final Fantasy character do this? Why do I see? Because to me, to go back to the point, you got a $70 game. To me, if I were to see the amalgamation between Final Fantasy 15 and the efforts placed towards Forspoken all in one game, that's a $70 game to me. I can't complain. I'm buying it. It's top notch
Mm-hmm.
perfection. People are gonna pay for a $70 Grand Theft Auto game because of what Grand Theft Auto's been building.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much now. I mean,
Right now,
not so
until
much now for these.
we'll see.
Now it's a we'll see. So
Yeah.
with the PlayStation prices, so you're charging me this for the much, this for the subscription, and the game, and the game. So
And the
so now,
only certified banger you might have this year, because I mean, granted, it seems like a layup, but we've seen bigger things crash and burn. You mean to tell me the only luxury experience I'm getting this year is Spider-Man 2 for the entire calendar year? If I don't like Forspoken and I don't like Final Fantasy 16, my only luxury experience is Spider-Man 2. Yikes.
and what happens when I want to put Spider-Man down for a little bit, play something else? Nothing. Nothing's there. Nothing's there.
And
Nothing's
that's
there, man.
no, to wrap up at that point, and I think that's the best way to cap it off, is like, I think Sony at its best, when they're listening to fan feedback, they can deliver a cinematic story like no other. What they've been able to do with the Uncharted series, the Last of Us series, Spider-Man, God of War, when they're listening and they're tuned in and dialed in, I don't see anybody seeing them. Go ahead.
I'll say this: what's so heartbreaking about that, and this is why I stopped replying to people saying we have more exclusives on Sony. You guys don't even support your own games because they break even too much. That's not good. That means you technically made no money. You technically made no game. I made God of War, but the sales always hit bomb. We make our money back, but we made the exact amount of money that we made spending on the game.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I going to do as a company? I need to find. That's why it's going to PC. That's why a lot of these things are going to PC day one. They're hurting themselves for not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing that I noticed with the Sony exclusives. They say you have them, but they don't make the money that they should make. You know what I'm saying? They don't make Red Dead Redemption money. They don't make Grand Theft Auto money.
But that's what I was gonna say.
Those are two different things, of course. You feel me? But like, if Sony prides themselves, man, like why is it third parties the most played amongst anything on those platforms? And then you could say the same thing about Xbox to a degree now, because Starfield is gonna do what it's gonna do, and then when they dropped Elder Scrolls, who knows what that's gonna be on? If that goes, yeah, it's a rap ski. That's gonna make its money back over and over. Halo has the power to do that, but I think not to go off on topic, but that's the only tragic thing about these games, man. They don't make the money that they should make for what they're spending on them. They're not making the returns back.
That's actually a good point, and I actually now am a little bit more curious to look at some of the physical sales of some of these big budget. Like I know Horizon Forbidden West didn't quite make the money back that they pumped into it from what I can remember. I think
Yeah.
um,
I have my
it's
personal reasons as to why that's gonna happen. Um,
mm,
you know, I- you would be better off making a Sony Sims game if you wanted to attract a specific audience.
okay. Yes, but
Cause you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of disconnect between the protagonist and the player with a lot of
yeah,
these games.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
it
so
depends on the game. It depends on the game, and
depends on the
I
game
think
and the
Forbidden West was
protagonist.
a good example of the disconnect. Um, but I think I was gonna say in terms of the flaw I think Sony has is that Sony, again, not saying that Xbox is not capable of it. Nintendo is surely capable of it. My goodness, but Sony, when they're in their bag, so to speak, is like they kind of come with this mindset of where else would you go? What else would you play? And it's like you look at something like the PlayStation Portal. It's like, bro, I will literally put this down, pick up my Nintendo Switch OLED that I paid $100 more, and play all the games on the go with no need for remote play at all, and all the Bluetooth in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the gone are the days where it's like you can't get it anywhere else because only Sony has it. There's a time period where, again, even though they're great games, Uncharted does what Uncharted does because in Uncharted I'm climbing up a plane. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding on for dear life from a train. I'm not getting that experience anywhere else. Now you have all these games, like you said, these third party titles. I could go pick up Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, it's a little glitchy, but it's Uncharted with lightsabers, and I can play it on any platform I please. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. It doesn't feel luxury. You know what I'm saying? You're telling me this is the Gucci bag, but it don't feel Gucci. The G's missing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not, the G's backwards on the bag at this point. It's just not quite like I'm not seeing what I paid for yet. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't see it yet. And the PlayStation Plus subscription price, I'm not seeing, like,
A
what
reason.
is this? A reason.
to
A
get,
reason.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not seeing a reason.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, especially you guys don't even have a lot of multiplayers like that, man.
we don't.
Yeah, so
Third
it's like,
person action adventure.
and man,
I know.
yeah,
That's
so
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, well, we'll see how it happens with that. I would actually be pleasantly surprised if they do end up rolling back some of the prices due to feedback. But again, like I said, when Sony's in their bag, when they're feeling themselves, it gets tricky. It gets tricky.
oh no,
But
they're gonna feel this. There's no these rollback prices is coming in like Walmart, bro. Trust me, dog. They coming. They coming. They coming. They coming. Trust me,
yeah,
dog. They coming.
yeah.
They coming,
And it's
bro.
like, Sony, don't get me wrong. I want you to do well. I'm obviously a fan. I got the Spider-Man 2 limited edition controller coming in any day now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan, but I need more. I
Rinse
need.
due. Rinse due. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Like,
you've had 3 years. I need more. I need more. I'm sorry. But transitioning into rent being due in one way or another. Dropped in the group chat that Volition Studios is closed, effective immediately. For listeners who don't know or may not be aware, Volition Studios has made a variety of games, but they're most well known for the Saints Row series. Saints Row being probably the most notorious competitor to Grand Theft Auto. The only other franchise that probably gave it the best run for its money in terms of concept and ideas. And due to the abysmal beating in sales and reviews that the Saints Row reboot took, Volition Studios is no more. Now, Jory, we talked about it a little bit because, again, Tim was on workcation. About, for me, I didn't really, I'll admit I didn't play Saints Row 1 and 2, although I've heard time and time again that 2 is probably the best in terms of story. But 3 and 4 were amazing experiences for me. Even for as glitchy as 4 was, they basically said, hey, you're a superhero. Enjoy yourself. And 3, for as ridiculous as it is, when I'm sitting there, beating somebody down to death with a dildo bat, I'm like, this is witty. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like silly. It wasn't stupid. It wasn't, like it was just enough self awareness where I'm like, I'm just having fun. I'm just enjoying myself with a really well put together story, and admittedly pretty good character customization. So, what are your thoughts, Drew? How do you feel about this
I'm
news?
so amazed at the business decisions that this company has done.
Mm.
Because Saints Row 4, what is it? What am I playing? Degrassi
You
in
mean
Mexico?
5?
Saints Row 5, sorry.
Because 4
Saints
was the
Row 5.
superhero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So to me, that doesn't count. But in my mind,
4?
it doesn't count because it's Saints Row 3. It's Saints Row 3, man.
Okay. 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 Okay.
It's Saints Row 3
Mm-hmm.
DLC, man.
Okay. Fair.
They blow up the planet and you're in a virtual world. Come on, man. Don't give me that, man. Don't give me that, man. Don't give me
You're in the
don't,
Matrix with all the cheats unlocked. Go ahead.
You're
All the
in the
cheat codes are
Matrix
available from jump.
and you're going up against an alien, the borderline. They drew that guy one time. Character concept.
Yep.
They drew that character one time and say, "Oh, okay, that's
And
good.
hit
Wrap it up."
Control V, Control V, Control V.
So I want to express myself in the best way possible. I'm gonna go through
Mm.
each of my thinking points. Number one, you guys saw the crazy momentum that you built up with Saints Row. At the time Grand Theft Auto existed, you guys should not even exist for their
Mm-hmm.
achievements. And I'm still surprised that the investors didn't realize what they had in their hands. If you don't want to play a super serious game, let's play this one,
Mm-hmm.
Saints Row, and you'll have a blast. A lot of the stuff you do in the Saints Row, to me, is like the most edgiest, coolest thing. You want to hop into a car moving at 100 miles an hour and kick the driver out? You could do that in Saints Row. Let's go.
Yep.
And you had multiplayer? Oh, man. So, like, why don't you think about giving this game resources? It
Mm-hmm.
works. You had a formula that works. That's what I was expecting now from Saints Row. Okay, I could be a superhero. Now, boom, what's going to be next on the menu, man? I was like, man, I can't wait to see next gen Saints Row. I said, man, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. Are they going to go, and we're going to get more of what we got with better graphics, better physics? I mean, I'm down for it. Are we going to get a little bit of Just Cause craziness? Because there's stuff to pull inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to play a Just Cause Saints Row. Oh, man, sign me up, Grand Theft Auto. What? It's over. Some of those missions in Saints Row 3 were some of the, oh my gosh, the greatest missions I've ever played. And you have, I was like, man, I'm waiting for a Fast and Furious mission in Saints Row. They're going to make me laugh. Oh, man, I'm going to go into tears. You could pull from a Baywatch episode. I didn't know some of these missions I needed in Saints Row 3, man.
Yeah.
I didn't, I need a hero. I need a hero. When you're about to beat the game and you got to run across from the whole city. I didn't know I needed that. For what you guys did with the budget you guys made a fantastic game.
Yes.
So now, my second problem is now you give me a concept like Agents of Mayhem. A game, in my opinion, that shouldn't have existed. It should have just been Saints Row. Because you had interesting characters, but you wanted to give me a hero open world city with not so much interesting things to do. I have a hard time understanding why these companies make the games that they do when other companies already did the same thing they did and were met with a level met with noticeable gripes, noticeable
like the
mentions
overall consensus is like
is not
maybe
good.
not hate but disinterest.
Yeah, like you're saying, you have a game like Crackdown, right? Crackdown 1, amazing. Crackdown 2, everybody's like, yo, what am I playing? Crackdown 3, nobody's talking about that thing, man. That thing doesn't even exist. It doesn't even show up. It's free to play on Xbox. Nobody says, hey, here, come play this game. Nobody says that. It's just, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay. Nobody's talking about Saints Row.
Or even the elephant example in the room, bro. Let's just call it for what it is. Destiny was a slow burn. People did not like Destiny out the gate. People didn't like Destiny 2 out the gate. Why do I keep seeing over and over, this is Destiny Light, Avengers, Destiny Light? It's like it doesn't work. It didn't work. Star Wars Battlefront 2, it does not work. It doesn't work. Destiny is literally lightning in a bottle with a lot of investors to curate that thunderstorm.
You guys made Halo?
Blank check. What can you do for me? Yeah.
Yeah, checks rolling. But anyway, like back to what I was saying, like I'm amazed at these nonsensical decisions. When you are a visual artist team, now there's probably stuff that I don't know that's taking place back. Of course, you know the investors always have a say so, and they always think they know more because they have the money, and they don't. And then they can. I don't know if they can't take responsibility for their action, but when they when they get evicted out of that California house, yeah, they're gonna learn then after that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna read that Alex Hormozy book real quick. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're gonna read that book real quick. But back to what I'm saying, some of these decisions are nonsensical. Those concepts for Agents of Mayhem could have been propelled to the next installment of Saints Row. That was a flop in its own right, in a sense, because it's like you had these you have very good, colorful characters, but you didn't do anything with them. They're never on screen with each other, and I think it wasn't even multiplayer, was it?
I think it. I'll check. You keep going. I'll check.
I have Agents of Mayhem. I'm gonna reinstall it to see. You have all these colorful characters, but then you restrict them to abilities. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, but like when we don't want a hero-based open world game. It's a nice trick to it, but like there's nothing that you're doing that's interesting.
No, single player game.
Boom, there you go. There you go. There you go. That's why I died. Flatline. Ready to go. Ready to go, dog. It's some of these things, man, if you don't have these mechanics, don't even try. Don't try. Because you're not doing anything better than the next game that's out of you. Like, it's so easy to borrow inspiration from these existing games. Okay, guys, Saints Row 4, Saints Row 5 is going to be, Just Cause mixed with our storytelling. Let's pull some stuff from Saints Row 2 that we did well. Those missions in Saints Row 2, oh, man. Those things. Those end-off boss battle showdowns. Taking over your turf. Man, they were like,
I ain't played, so I don't know. But like I said, I've only heard nothing but good things about Saints Row 2.
It was. I wish they continued to aspire to compete with Grand Theft Auto, but in their own way. Because somewhere along the line you would have got the formula right, and you were well on your way. Then now we're left with Saints Row 5. And for me, they're doing a reboot. When they said they were doing a reboot, I'm like, oh man, fine. They're gonna reboot it. So I'm okay with that. I think it's due for a reboot after how things ended in Saints Row 4.
Yeah,
blew up the planet.
Earth, no
what are you gonna
existing.
do? No Earth. Unless you're gonna make it Saints Row destroy all humans. That could work.
Yeah,
that could work. Open world alien game. Open world alien. You on another planet with humanoid aliens? Okay. Written by James Gunn. It could work. It could work. Or James Gunn-esque writer.
Right.
It'll work. But with this reboot, I knew from the moment they showed gameplay, it was done. It was
same
over.
actually. Same.
It was over.
It didn't.
I
It
saw
did
the
not look.
characters.
It did not
Saw the
look
characters.
promising at that time. And not
So
even
I
characters. You didn't
understand.
see characters. You saw character stereotypes.
And like the thing is, you know, I don't know if it's just Gen Z. They're not very defined as distinct. I can't really tell them apart. Only through antics.
That's a wide brush to paint. But okay, go ahead.
Okay. And when I say I can't tell them apart, um, if they're not like an established actor, they're kind of they kind of all have the same NPC dialogue bubbles and boxes. They react the same way to everything. They nearly dress the same. Well, and it's not to show hate, but it's just like that's not an interesting cast or people to pull inspiration from. You know what I'm saying? To bond with. You could have pulled from the YouTubers. You could have pulled from the what would happen if we had a character inspired by Mr. Beast, I Show Speedy? Then you could have did something like that. Then you probably would have had a story on your hands here. But I don't know if these guys can't think or see things that just make sense. The cast, the stereotype of the cast wasn't hitting, man. It just wasn't working. And then what was the objective? What was the storyline? What was the plot? Then I saw the gameplay, and then the world that they gave you. That world was so. Don't give me no desert world. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Guys, avoid desert areas. Oh well, we want to make this. No, man, no.
I would have taken a town, like a town. You know what I'm saying? Like not a desert town, like a town. I get it. Cities is not it's not in every game developer's wheelhouse. I'm fine with that.
But your city doesn't even technically exist.
I know.
It's just you know what I'm saying. So you can do whatever you want. It's a lot of people to blame because I understand you guys potentially had a hit. Give these people arms and legs. Saints Row was well received. Saints Row 3 lost a couple of people, but it was okay. I was okay with the transition because it was still fun. It was still fun. Now you guys can take the fun factor from a lot of other inspiration, and Just Cause has a fan base. That's why they keep making it. Mm-hmm. That's why they keep making it,
Even though the
man.
physics get more and more ridiculous. Hey,
more and more. Yo, you want
into a tornado, parachute up, and then
you want to dance on propeller blades on a helicopter blade? You can do it in this game.
We built the physics engine for it. Yeah.
Oh, come on! Like, just do it. Just do it, man. I'm trying to understand, like, why if y'all gonna do it, just do it, man. And I'm trying to understand where they go off making this decision, man. Yeah.
Do you feel like in any way? Not that there was ever like a parallel, like or 1-for-1, but do you feel like Saints Row at all was hurt by not being able to pull inspiration from the Grand Theft Auto series because it's been so long between Grand Theft Auto games? They kind of use certain things like that as a template and then riled it up to 10 with no Grand Theft Auto being in existence since 2013. Do you think they were like, we don't know what to do?
If somebody had. There's enough Grand Theft Auto out there for you to add your own twist to it. I'm sorry.
I agree.
There's enough.
I agree.
Grand Theft Auto clearly is just a game. You're playing a movie. I'm waiting for the Grand Theft Auto to where they take inspiration from Reservoir Dogs or Quentin Tarantino movies. It's over.
I mean, they have.
They kind of did, right? Yeah. So when they do, like now, right? So but I'm waiting for when they make it obvious, right?
Okay.
You see the black and white John Travolta, you be like, yo, we already know who this guy's supposed to be. Imagine them doing their interpretation of Bad Boys. Mm-hmm. It's over. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That game is taking all my money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 3D Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, but they're not Will Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. So I'm like, within the time that Grand Theft Auto was absent, they had the perfect opportunity to kind of just go off the rails with it, man. My heart goes out to the staff. It's not
same.
Man,
Same.
I'm heartbroken because it's like, but it's so much to say. You see the economy, you see the situation out there. People will lose the ability to eat
It's
bread.
not funny, but you're
It's
right.
not funny. It's not funny.
You're right.
Now you're thinking, well, we're always gonna make our money back. Not anymore. If a game is $70, if
Yeah.
Sony PlayStation is charging me $80 to subscribe, guys, I'm sorry. The sword is gonna be drawn, kid. We're going back to 19. We're going back to 1400 England, kid.
Not even that. We're going back to the days of allowance. I have been saving
Yeah,
up my lawnmower money for 6 weeks. I
I
cannot
bought. I'm
literally
buying this
afford to
game.
buy a mediocre game.
I'm buying this game 2 years later. People gonna be on Mortal Kombat and they gonna get to Mortal Kombat and be like, oh no, WB gave me this copy because I couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be so crazy, man. And I understand like, yo, these games get more and more expensive, but I think you're gonna have to think Todd Howard's they're gonna go back to Todd Howard's business strategy, man. Where you get a lot of stuff and the graphics might not be up to par, but at least you got a fun game.
That
Because
was one
other
of the
than that,
honestly. That was
man,
one of the, and we can move on. But that was one of the most underrated aspects of the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. Of like a lot of those games. I mean, there was a couple that looked really good for their time. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of those games that really stuck with you, those graphics were secondary. And I'm not saying that graphics aren't important. I'm not one of those people like,
yeah,
just give me
yeah,
gameplay,
yeah.
bro. I don't care what else is
No,
there. Like, no,
no,
no, no, no, no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no, no.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no,
Nah,
no. Don't.
nah.
Let's not mince words here.
We
No.
left polygons, man. I'm not going
Yeah.
back to Solid
To tech,
Snake with no
right,
face.
right. To Tekken Build a Block Fighter in 2. Like, no,
Nah,
no, 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 no.
no,
Oh, no,
no,
no, no. I'm
no,
not
no,
saying
no.
all that now.
Yeah,
But what I am
yeah.
saying is, when I think of, I don't look at Spider-Man 2 or Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction with fondness because of like, man, those graphics. Prototype. Them NPC characters looked exactly the same. You've seen one soldier in that game. You've seen every soldier in that game.
Every soldier. That
But
one
I had a
business lady,
blast.
that one business seminar lady, dog, that you
Right.
just
They threw
grab.
on a
We
different
catch.
shader, a slightly different wig, and just hit Control V throughout the game. You know, so it's like you said, we're slowly but surely entering a time where it's like it's you have to show and prove out the gate. If I don't go to a concert and have a Beyonce like experience, I want my money back. If I buy an album and it doesn't sound like Outkast's greatest hits, I want my money back.
If it doesn't look like a Yeezy concert, go to sleep.
Yeah.
'Cause somebody's
Unfortunately.
going to jail. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to jail, man.
Yeah. And I think Volition will not be the only story we hear about companies being absorbed into bigger companies because
Oh man,
their trademark game couldn't cut it.
it's happening. Well, I mean, the writing was on the wall, man. You guys want to release this? Pull your resources back. Pull everything back. Delay the game if you have to. Because I could have told you that this ship was gonna sink, man. That
Mm-hmm.
game trailer, the environments. You're not doing anything to improve. Oh, man, you just literally just showed me this, and then I'm forced to play, and these are my support team. Oh man, you don't got characters better than any of the original Saint Rose cast. I'm like, these people are Pierce, Johnny,
Yeah.
Johnny Gat. You know what I'm saying?
Johnny
Like
Gat
these
got his own spin-off because of how popular he was.
you guys
They had to
didn't
bring him back
you
from the dead because of how popular he was.
because how popular he was, man. Like nothing, man. And it's mind blowing. You guys have all the spoofs that you guys could have done, man. You had all the memes that could have led you to bridge you to thought.
Yeah.
It's like the internet is there for no
You're,
reason. Unless
bro, you're absolutely right. Imagine, like you said, imagine Saints Row that embraces the meme culture, embraces the podcast culture, right? Embraces what makes up modern day humor these days. There's so many different directions you could have gone.
the radio station was so hilarious on Saints Row.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't beating Grand Theft Auto's radio station,
No.
but yeah, you, but man, it was still something, you know.
Yeah.
And then some of those boss battles were so worth it, man. Saints Row 3, man, the opening scene of the game where you had to rob a bank and steal the vault.
And you're just free falling out the building. Kanye's flashing lights kicks on. Last mission of the game, you pull up in a jet. You know, it's yeah.
I need a hero.
Yeah.
That was an amazing ending, man. Like the stag mission, the fake SWAT type
Mm-hmm.
escalation of and then the discovery of a new car, and then just unlocking a new car. None of that stuff
Yeah.
for you. You know,
It's I don't know. It's again. I hope again in terms of the staff. Like I hope that those creative minds are not left to waste or out to rot or
yeah,
put in a company where it doesn't matter. Like I hope they get absorbed into where they can do some good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my hope that this leads
man.
to a better game for somewhere else.
If anybody wants to hire, we have a family here that is looking for work. That crushed me, dog.
Yeah.
These people not gonna be able to eat because I don't know. I mean, I don't know who to blame, man. I'm gonna say it's not always gonna be the investors, man. They have the final say so. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. But it's heartbreaking because, like, I mean, who's gonna hire these guys?
I think they'll get work. I kind of shudder at where they might get absorbed into, but they'll get work.
Yeah,
I just hope they don't become employee 1001 at one of these ultra mega game developers where, like you said, it's 12 people to a facial animation, and that's all they're relegated to for the rest of their career. They
yeah,
don't get to do
man.
anything creative ever again.
Nothing, and it's all and the thing is, like, man, you guys, when you make starting these new companies, think about it. You have control. You have a position to where you can move. The worst case scenario, yeah, you move into a big company, but you're just another battery.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not a RAM. You're not a think. You're just another battery, and you used to
Mm-hmm.
be the software.
Right.
Now
You used to show up with the
you just
storyboards, and now you're just what was that? You said, oh, a lighter shader on character number. Okay. Like, sheesh. Yeah. Heart goes out, prayers up to that staff, man. I hope
yeah,
they're
man.
able to all bounce back respectively. Um, Moving on to some, quicker topics, lighter topics to some degree.
hmm
The Aki DLC release trailer, Street Fighter Six. We get
I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it
the
was
Fang
possible.
and Jury fusion dance, and boom, the Potara fusion of Jury and Fang,
I
and
didn't think it was possible, man.
here
It's a
comes
triple Potaro, man. It's a triple Potaro, like,
who's the
man.
third character?
Man, I'm gonna say Vega, man.
You nah. Oh
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say Vega. It's just the the animation isn't a roll or a jumping on the screen,
Yeah,
side of the wall.
she
It's
doesn't have
just
like Vega's mobility.
she does. It's just she's slithering on the snake like a snake. That's her versus Vega flying in the air. It's
Hmm.
her. She has command grabs. It's her slithering like a
Hmm.
snake, boa constrictor. So for me, it was Fang, Vega, and Jury, but just to the fourth power. Like, man, I think she didn't play how I thought she was gonna play, but I
But
thought
I
she was
think it's
gonna
a
be
good
more of a
thing.
yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Like
I thought
both
she was
her and
gonna be
Rashid
more.
so far have been very unpredictable. Of like, oh, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have predicted this if you told me like, oh, well, how do you think they're gonna move in the game? I didn't think Rashid's over here doing backflips in his idle stance, and then she's just slithering and like you
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
boa
yeah,
constrictor, just stab you here, jab you there, do this here. It's like, oh,
yeah. She
okay.
has a little bit again too, a little bit, just a little bit again, hints of again with the
Mm,
poking.
hmm.
But I think she has an amazing character design, man. It's memorable. It's like
Yeah,
she has a look.
yeah.
She has a unique look, man. I think that's a 10 out of 10 character design, man. I'm buying that art book, man. I'm buying that Street Fighter art book.
When Udon hits that pre-order, Jory will like,
Yeah,
yes.
yep. I'm buying that. I'm buying that
Yeah.
art book, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. For all them boys that they're talking about, they could save her. They're crazy. It's a lost cause, man.
This is the generation we live in.
You
This is the
got, you
generation we
got,
live in, bro.
you have model characters. You have a Chun-Li, very modest. You have very modest characters on there, and y'all go for the psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now Jury looks sane compared to Homegirl.
Yeah.
Jury looks sane compared to Homegirl. Like,
Jury with the Snuggie outfit. You're like, you know what? You know.
It's just your average Twitch streamer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She had her wild years, but she's reformed now. You know, she found the Lord, and
yeah, man. Like, this one, man. I'm glad they didn't give her any bodacious qualities, man. I'm glad she's.
Yeah, no, I'm glad too. I'm
happy because if they did that, man.
Yeah.
What's that? What's his name? Amongst Gold. Woo! the meme,
yeah.
Amongst Gold meme. Oh, boy, you would have saw that all over, boy. You would have seen Homelander. It was perfect. Just perfect,
this ain't Koei Tecmo, right? This ain't the Dead or Alive designers. We're making a practical fighter here, guys.
Yeah, man. I'm glad she just looks,
She was solid. It was a solid rollout.
No, great review, man. Great rollout for real, man. Man, this is the best Street Fighter in a long time. I got it. Can't put the time into it that I want to, but if I'm gonna play it, man, I am not playing the traditional way. Yeah, big capital M.
Yikes.
Capital M.
You heard that, fighting game purist? Jory wants his handheld. Jory had the training wheels on.
Oh no, I don't. I mean, because I don't care. Like, I don't got no point in proving Street Fighter. That's not my game. I'm not gonna fight you on no 2D playing field and jump over your head to do a combo. I'm attacking you. I want a strafe, man. I'm gonna play my Soul Calibur, man. I want to go to the side.
I'm not kind of framed at it. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's too late. It's too late.
man. I got a job, man. Like, come on.
I gave up on counting frames. Right after I gave up on learning Japanese. There's just certain things that just will not happen in this life. So
I'm
gonna play the game that's fun for me. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So get used to my Chun-Li doing the out of nowhere special, kid. 30 milliseconds before you put your input in. Yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming, man. Get ready for my Ryu Metsu Shoryuken after I just got knocked down on the ground, kid. It's coming. My Gaio?
Right.
You think I got time to do that beautiful? You think I got time to do that beautiful special, man? I'm putting my foot right on your clavicle, dog. The American way. The American way. Yeah, man. Nah, man. Charleston right here, man. I'm Street Fighter. I don't care. I don't care. I don't got time.
No, I feel you. Moving on from Aki, there was another game I wanted to mention as well that just slipped my mind that was brought up this week. Do we care at all about Armored Core? Is there anything we want to talk about From Software dropping apparently another banger that people are afraid to admit is a banger because it's not Dark Souls?
Oh, no.
That they dropped the Gundam game we deserve.
I don't know. See, I don't understand. These are nonsensical decisions. It's like, I don't get it. I'm seeing Armored Core, right? And you know why I like Armored Core? It reminds me of a game called Murakumo. It was only for the Xbox. It was made by Ubisoft. It was published by Ubisoft, but made by Form Software. I don't have my iPad with me. It's not connected to the network, so.
All good.
Long story short, when you find it, Murakumo, you'll see a red mech. It was called Murakumo High Speed Pursuit. Mobile Pursuit.
Okay.
Mech Pursuit. High Speed Mech Pursuit. Something like that. So it's basically like how do I call it? What are those games called where you kind of just like you fly around, you can't really land, but you're always in air.
Oh, like Zone of Enders, pretty much.
Like a Zone of the Enders, basically. But you would go around and you'll pursue. You have to kill this specific target before it would reach a certain area. So you had to take it out as fast because it was
Yeah.
gonna either release a nuke, fly into a building, different missions. Some was water based, some enemies were water based, some weren't. But they had a destination, and you had to kill them before they reached the destination. That game, I love that game, man. And
Mm.
it for me, it was like that game was more on it was more of an edgier game because they had like that nice paint finish. Those mechs look clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about they could compete with Lamborghini. It was literally Lamborghini mechs, just Lamborghini Ferrari mechs, Bugatti mechs, just going around looking nice, and they all had their different abilities. But when I saw what this game is, Rubicon game, I was like, man, it's not. They're gonna do. I think they're gonna get to a point to where they're gonna do a spin-off or something inspired by Morokumo, and it's gonna be Dark Souls Morokumo.
Mm.
Yeah, you get to make your nice stylish suit and walk in this created mech world that we got. Yeah, so I'm feel sorry for the Surge, man. Y'all make the Surge 3, y'all better come with it, man, cause it's only a matter of time. I think with Armored Core, it reminded me of that game so much. So now when I eventually wind up purchasing it, I'm gonna make that same. I'm gonna find those parts, and I know they're gonna be in there.
Mm.
I'm gonna make me an LX30, man. I'm gonna make me an LX30. That was the main villain of the game. Um, and I think
Do you feel like From Software suffers at all? I mean, granted, Elden Rings was jumping out the gym sales wise, but do you think that From Software suffers at all by not being attached to bigger IPs, right? Where it's like, Armored Core has had more like a cult fan base, I'd say, over the years, right?
not anymore.
Well, right, but I look at it, I'm like, man, like I wonder how much this would have maybe shifted the industry if it was attached to a Gundam license. Like, imagine it's like, hey, From Software presents Gundam Wing, and the first thing you see is Hero and Wing Zero, but it's a From Software game. Do you feel like that might have shifted the focus or given more attention to this game, or you think it has legs on its own at this point?
We are experiencing technical issues. There is no cause for alarm.
What's going on, everybody? So unfortunately, due to unforeseen difficulties, we weren't able to complete this week's episode, but hopefully we'll be able to do a follow-up to kind of finish off and cap off everything we wanted to do for this week's episode. But if not, we will definitely try to pick up where we left off for next week's episode. Once again, thank you guys so much for listening, tuning in, commenting, liking, subscribing, and we'll talk to you soon.